Wouldn't it be great if you had a method of seeing the price action in the future today of what's likely to occur? Well, that's what we're going to cover in today's video. My name is Jagir. I'm the award-winning author of The Extraordinary New Venture Capital Opportunity, How to Invest Like a Pro, been featured in the best-selling book, High Probability Trading Strategies, back in 2008, where I'm on a mission to help you increase your financial health through simple crypto and blockchain education. Today's focus is going to be on Arweave, where we're going to focus on pattern, momentum, and price. It's one of the best systems that I've seen to give the probability of you succeeding. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe because we launch a video every single day. So let's get started. So I did a video on Arweave on the 6th of Feb, and what we said in advance was it looks like it's doing this nice pattern of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Markets moves in 5s and 3s, and we're going to talk about that pattern. It's one of the most powerful patterns that you're going to come across. And then typically an A, B, C correction. But what we said in the video was we should anticipate one more move to the downside before it's likely to take off. Now we're going to jump into a live chart because this is exactly what's happened, and I'm going to show you the tips and the tricks on how to see this ahead of time. So let's jump into a live chart with Arweave. So now let's just get rid of these drawings, and what we're going to see, it's like magic because you're going to be able to see the future before the price action occurs. And we said this in the video. We said this price movement of a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the pattern that we're talking about. And typically after a 5-wave pattern, we should always anticipate a 3-wave correction, A, B, C. Now when we did our last video, it was actually up here. I'm just going to bring it up so we are really, really clear on this because this is so powerful. So I'm going to bring it up over here. This is the last video that we did. And what we said, if I get rid of this, is, let me just bring up the annotation, is what we said was the price over here, we should wait for the momentum. We're going to talk about momentum today. Bullish reversal, one more move to the downside, and look at this. Momentum, one more downside to the bullish reversal, and now the market is taken off. Almost exact. And that's going to be the focus of today. How did we project this in advance, and how you can use this information to stack the odds in your favor. So the first focus is going to be pattern. The key ingredient that we used over here was something called a wave C. Now a wave C typically breaks down to a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave sequence. Really, really important to understand. And we were up here the last time we did the video. So the thinking and the thesis was that we should get a one more low to the downside over here. And that's what we got. We got a 5-wave sequence to the downside. And what this would have done for you is it would have prevented you from buying up here. Because we're talking about, $42 going down to 20, almost 50% down. We want to maximize buying near the bottom and allowing the market to enter us in. So that's the pattern part of it. Now we're going to focus on momentum. There's a real good trick, right? Well, it's not really a trick, but it's really, really highly probable. We have something in the top left-hand corner over here called the weekly chart, where every bar or every piece of data represents a week. I'm not too focused on the blue lines at the top. I'm actually focused on this momentum indicator. There's a classic saying, the trend is your friend, ride it until its end, until it reaches its bend. So basically, when the higher degree momentum, which is what we're looking at over here, is pointing up, then we want to look for buying opportunities, right? So this is pointing up from down here, it's pointing up. That means the momentum is up. And what we said in the last video was we want to focus on the daily chart and literally wait for the next bullish reversal. I'm just going to draw a box over here. The next bullish reversal. So then the daily momentum, now we're on a daily chart, is pointing up, which is in the same direction as the weekly. So you got two momentum indicators pointing up. And again, the pattern that we spoke about, we're talking about a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of a wave ABC, A, B, C over here, of a wave 2. You go, what'd you get for wave 2? Yeah, markets moves in 5s and 3s. But this whole sequence, this 5-wave sequence, is actually what looks like to be a wave 1, and then this looks like a bigger degree wave 2. So this is all valuable information that we're coinciding together. And if you want to learn more about this, I actually have a free Elliott Wave and Fibonacci Masterclass that breaks this down in a lot more detail. It's in the description box below. You can take the course. Well, it's a free masterclass. So it's around, I think it's 30 minutes, but it just covers the high level of how you can see these patterns ahead of time. The other thing that you'll notice is that we've got these lines, right? We've got these lines. And these are key Fibonacci ratios where we've measured this wave and there's a relationship to this wave. And that's what this red line is. And there's also a whole relationship between the movement to the upside and the movement to the downside, which is what this relationship is. But the key thing that we had ahead of time was this box here. So I'm just going to bring up some candlesticks. And what you'll see, almost like magic, in advance, we projected that the price was likely to get to this zone. And look, it entered this zone within this time band as well. So I highly encourage you to watch the last video. It's from the, again, what did we say? It was the...
Yeah, what did you get up for? Right, just jump back to the course, Fibonacci Wave 3.
It was the 6th of February, 6th of February of Arweave. Yeah, we saw it in advance, this particular pattern that we saw. And it's just time and time again that you'll see these patterns unfold again and again. So what we're going to finish on is, as a bonus, what is likely to occur next with Arweave. Well, there's two things you want to take into account, right? Because we can only do probabilities and never certainties. The first thing is if, because it's always if, still a question mark. If this is not the low and it ends up making a new low, what's the minimum that Arweave should do? So we're going to just delete some of these lines now. We don't need these lines over here. We'll keep these ones in play. What we want to pay attention to is there's a 5-wave sequence to the downside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want to anticipate that the market should do at least something called a 50% correction to the upside. You go, what does that mean? Well, we're going to measure this high to this low. And the ratios that we want is 50 to 78.6%, these three lines. We should anticipate that Arweave should do a minimum into this range. There's another cool thing that you can do called time, right? We're going to measure this time. I'm not going to go into too much detail right now. But most corrections, if this is a correction, typically take 50% of the time, right? So we want to be very aware if Arweave reaches the 22nd of March in this price zone, I would seriously consider becoming risk-free. But then on a macro picture, what we're really thinking is after a wave 1 and a wave 2, which is what we projected in advance. You'll see this, we did this in the last video. Pretty much bang on, it's pretty much bang on. Is after a wave 1 and a wave 2, you'll typically get a wave 3. And the most typical wave 3 ratio is 1.618 of the wave 1. So we're talking about $150, just under $150. And today's price is, what, $36, give or take? $36, is that right? Let me just have a double look over here. Yeah, it's around $36. So we're still talking around, what's that, 3, 4, almost a 5x. And then the maximum typically tends to be a 2.618, which is this line up here. So now we've got this real clear time and price zone in this region. So there you have it. We're looking at momentum, weekly pointing up, daily pointing up. We said ahead of time that is likely going to have one more leg to the downside. And what we can do that gives us objective information is simply wait for the momentum. Because when we did our last video, the momentum was up here. Just wait for the next bullish reversal, which happened down here. And then readdress what is the price action doing. And at this point, when that happened down here, the price had made a new low and it was fast approaching what we called the main support zone. And that's occurred almost perfectly. And then you just want to look for an entry point and hopefully you manage to execute a good entry strategy if you have, because it's moved up, what, from almost $24 to like 37, almost 50, so over 50%, over 50% in a matter of what, 24th to the 8th, like 2-3 weeks. So if you want to learn how to do this, this is the main thing. I got a Fibonacci, Elliott Wave Fibonacci Masterclass that covers this at a high level, the key ratios, the 3 key rules that you want to understand with Elliott Wave, which really measures the psychological mood of the price action. And when you can see it ahead of time, you can prevent yourself from buying at the top and increase the probability of you buying at the bottom. And then what it also allows you to do is take profits at the absolute maximum. So there you have it. Today we're going to finish on a quote. It's from my book. I want to finish on this quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. It's from Warren Buffett. He says, rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. By stacking the odds in your favor, is going to increase the odds of you being the casino, with you acting with the edge. And again, you want to look for momentum, pattern, and price. If you like today's content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. We do daily content to bring you valuable crypto and blockchain education to help you increase your financial health. Do take my free Arweave and Fibonacci Masterclass, and hopefully I'll see you in one of my live workshops. See you soon.